welcome. Today it's Friday Live, and the idea from this video is to invite you and welcome you to join us. I do have a short team, and then I am available for anything you would like to ask me. And through the invitation that I am doing, your higher selves, I would like to ask that whoever is meant to be here can receive whatever you guys need, that it could be healing or guidance or a type of activation or calibration, any light language that you would like to hear today. We're gonna do a few minutes at the end normally of the live stream, and it's better if you ask any specific questions related to something that's happened to you, then any message for me, please. They will be here a little bit, and I will begin, well, I give you a few minutes with a little bit of theme that is what we give and what we receive, and how I see that when my third eye opens. And meanwhile, I would like to invite each of your higher selves to speak through me, my eyes, my voice, in the harmony of the perfection of divine and all that is. So anything that must be exchanged for the highest good of all could be. And I would like to put Gretel aside in a healing chamber so I can be a clear channel for unconditional love and pure source consciousness, and to elevate us into the frequency that we can be one with spirit through unconditional love and pure source consciousness. And with that, give me a few minutes to see that we are alive. And why I wanted to talk about what we give and what we receive, because I was seeing that someone sent an emoji that it was an upset emoji, and when I saw that, I had instantly a vision of a sword that it was being sent, and then it passed through me. It wasn't something that I posted. I was just going through the feed on Facebook, and then I was like, oh, what is that, right? All the upset emoji, that it was aligned to a very mean comment from a difference on another light worker perspective. And then I suddenly saw that everyone that we went through the same post, we were being slaughtered by the mean comment, like, you're wrong, reptilian, whatever. And I was like, oh. And then I kind of like saw if I was kind of in an ninja fight, and I was like, oh geez. And then I was like, ew, I scrolled back because I rejected. And then I noticed, give me you guys a second to see if I already have your, and then I suddenly had the realization that because I had resistance to the angry emoji and the mid comment, because I saw the charge that I had, I sent back whatever I received. And then I took a couple seconds. I'm gonna take a couple seconds. Please have your questions that you have for you guys. Request of healing, I can do an aura reading, and whenever light question, light language transmission that you would like us to do at the end, so we receive an activation, then I'll be happy to do it. And then I kind of stopped to figure it out, so I'm gonna rewind it a little bit. I'm in Facebook feed, right? And I'm passing by, and then I saw someone that spoke about something very controversial. And then the first thing I saw, it was the frequency from the emojis and the likes that post had. The heart was like hearts all over. It felt like flowers all over me. and then the smiles, it was like hugs, and then when I got into the part about the angry emoji, that is like, a sword just passed by, and I feel like my thing was gonna fall. Hold on, give me a second. And I was like, I suddenly, in my energy, I saw like swords being sent through the several angry emojis that I dislike this, and then I kind of had like an image about the mean comments, and then people fighting against you're right, you're wrong, this is the right thing to be, no, you bastard, light worker, whatever. And I was like, oh, and then it was like trying to escape source, and then I was like, ew, I scrolled back, and then I was like, and then I realized when I stopped to figure out what was happening, that I sent back the same energy that I received multiplied in a form of rejection. And then I feel like, why are you guys doing that? And then I feel like, and then and then all of those emotions that I feel like, why light workers would have to say who's right and who's wrong? How are we supposed to hold hands? And then I got upset. And then I was like, okay, Greta, what are you doing? Because all of those emotions were sent then source back into the same post. And then I was like, oh. So I became what it was given to me, because I matched that frequency, because I got out of my center. And I was like, ew, we should take those emojis away from commenting. And then I thought, but if we take the right from people to complain, then you control the feed. And then you don't give permission to people to say, I disagree with you. And then I was like, thinking a lot of questions, trying to find a way to go back to my center, right? And then I was like, okay, how's that coming? Because I'm going clueless here. First of all, I realized by the 10th time how much aware I should be every time I post something, and every time someone will critique something to me, that I shouldn't reply right away. In any form, I should take 1 or 2 seconds to be like, center myself, and then if I don't validate that perspective, I go dark too, because I put myself in the position that I'm right, you guys wrong. Is that any help? Because I realized I did the same thing about the judging thing, because I said, ew, right? Why are you guys doing that? And then I got upset, and then I got frustrated, and then I judged, because I said, why do workers do those things? Shouldn't we hold hands all together? And then my judgment said, who is righter or wronger than the other? Do not God has many ways to get there? And then I said, girl, just being judgmental. And then I was like, oh, so I'm doing the same thing. And then I battle myself between the control feed, allow everyone to be, and then I was like, so what should you do when you got in contact into a content like that? Like, for example, as an empath, I don't like things so explicit, because I have that like a seed of darkness that goes on and on into my mind. If I don't know, violence against animals or humans, and I'm like, ew, and then I'm trying to think another thing, and then my mind is gonna show me that again, and then I'm gonna like go bitter within. So I normally try to avoid those things and be selective to what I feed my energy from. Yes, But avoiding the world, it isn't the answer too, because I babble myself and then I don't develop compassion, resistance, and then I don't grow for different perspectives from the ones that I can hold. So I'm not gonna say right here what's right and what's wrong. If you feel you should fight and block and critique or whatever, then go with whatever you feel, because probably it's an emotion that you needed to bubble up about the surface, with whom you are colliding to get a fight on whatever Facebook group or in personal lives. And one way or another, it was meant to be. It was meant to be for me to saw it for 10 times. And then I got the realization, if I could have been more aware of my presence. And welcome. Please have your questions. And in a minute, I'm gonna go through the comments and then share with me what light language you would like me to do. And then we could do aura healing or questions from you guys as always. So in the overall, I got the aha moment that how much present I should be before I send or receive anything, and that as a spiritual person that I'm trying to really practice the Namaste thing, holding the space, it's validating someone else's perspective, even if it's against yours, and understanding that where they're coming from, it's its own right and truth, even though it's not my destiny, but because it's a different perspective from what I have, we can both grow. Maybe for me, the highest good is seeing, oh, I don't choose that, but I can allow others to choose those perspectives, right? Because it's part of whatever they're choosing to have. Otherwise, I take in their free will. I'm assuming I'm the only one that has the truth from heaven. And the other thing I said, God, let's be very conscious about what I give and what I receive, because this is where abundance is exchange. It isn't only about money. Money becomes gold right here and becomes money right here. On how worth it I feel, on how beloved, valuable, and when I'm full right here, whatever people, source, have, fighting spirits going on have right here, I go like, oh, and then I can hold the space with grace and love in my heart, and then flow through as if I'm immune, because I can understand with compassion and kindness and gentleness someone else's processes and my own. And because someone else's has a different journey, it do not have to affect me or pull me out of what I already have right here, because at the end I learned that I'm responsible for what I want into my day. Because if I engage into that fighting thing or triggering thing, I dishonor my temple from the light, because I got triggered. And if I get triggered because I'm in my 5 minutes of I don't know what to do today, yes, I'm gonna go into your comment right away. Then it's fine. Maybe my lesson needed to be more selective, or recharge first, or do a prayer like higher self before I enter into the feed on my Facebook, because if you have to send any message from me, maybe a quote will pass by. Maybe I'll go in through a live and you can tag the Gretel, or whatever I do, whatever I speak, whatever I receive, elevated so I am in alignment with all that is going on and all that I have right here. I hope that makes sense. So be very aware that it's okay to disagree and get upset and angry, because when we avoid those things, a piece of us die, like when you cut a flower, a rose from the rose plant. It will be alive for a few days and then it will fade away and die. But be responsible, because what you give, it comes back to you, multiply. Even if it's rejection, resistance, being upset, being grateful, being in love, and we choose what we want. It's like going to a restaurant and then choosing what you want to eat. When we don't choose, we just go, what are you gonna eat, Gretel? I don't know, I'm just waiting for the waiter to bring whatever they have. We don't like that, right? We would like to say, oh, I like this, and please put the dressing aside and take the chicken off and whatever. Because we are in charge of what I want to eat. And then I go with whom I will enjoy into a place that I think is going to be pleasant, with what I can afford that is going to be good for me. So the same metaphor applies for any exchange, whether it's in social media, whether it's in YouTube, whether it is a greeting from the family going out, someone into the store, someone who stopped you while you were driving and like, that happens to me sometimes. Because that darkness that it's bouncing back and forth, if I send it back, it will come to me one day or another, and then I'm gonna say, I was attacked, and I'm innocent. Oh, I'm not. I sent it back yesterday, and it's coming to me the day before. And then I'm ignoring my responsibility, saying, that person attacked me. You bad person, toxic human being. No, we sometimes send darkness and light, but every distortion in the instant that is created, multiple options to harmonize that distortion, it's being born. And then we choose a how. This is what free will is for. This is what I believe. And I don't know if you notice, but every time I do a live, I always ask, sometimes I do it live, sometimes I do it before. I bless my posts, I bless the page, the meditations, even though sometimes the sound is not right, or you guys can understand my pronunciation, or whatever that could arise. I always said, okay, whoever that comes to me, the request a drawing or anything, just send the ones that I have something that is valuable to give, and that it will be helpful for them to receive. And when we do that, we are in the synchronicity of the universe the majority of the time. That it is, the majority of the time we are in harmony, and then life is good. Because we're not crashing our own auras with someone else's processes. I hope this is helpful. Remember, today, normally it's Friday live. I going through your questions, and if you guys would like to request healing, whenever I can read the comments, I would love to share healing or anything that you guys have. Thank you for the support. If you want me to keep doing videos like that, please like and share, comment. So social media support, spirituality speakers like me and many others to be in the feed. That will help because of the new rules of social media, and support this channel. And if you don't like, then don't, that's fine too. Let me see if you guys have any questions. From your questions, it's better if you guys ask specific questions so I can give the most specific answer. Valerie, thank you so much for your stars. I appreciate it with my heart. I hope they go back in million blessings. Okay, have first question. Tamara, I think. And she's asking, can you give your perspective on Orion timeline occurring healing relationships? That's a very good question, Tamara. Yes. Orion, in the majority of the Akashic records that normally I access galactic history more than Earth history. I think beyond the light language POC that I am to the drawings and the teachings and stuff, at some point I'm becoming like a galactic contactee. That will become like the next point into my journey, whenever that it is. So I'm accessing normally Akashic records from star seeds, from other planes, things like that. And Orion was a system that was based on a contrast alchemy, a duality like us between darkness and light. And from what I have seen, there is a few predominant themes that Orion star seeds will vibe it, the ones that are in this timeline, maybe the ones that are matching frequency with me, perhaps. One, it is control freedom, because every person that has any conspiracy or idea about a sheet that will control your mind, a vaccine that will block your hair, fluoride in the waters, things like that, those are things that happen in the Orion system, including things like concentration camps, experimentation on humans like it happened in World War II. Slaves that went from years and centuries without they having right, that they would own to the landlord, etc., etc. Things like that happened in Orion because it was the first time that God as aspect needed to understand darkness in order to bring divine reality. So it was the ones who said, let's explore darkness to see how we can bring that yin and yang alchemy between both, and then collide it into, yes, the perfect limit between control and freedom. And Orion starseeds normally are very pleasant people, like they love to help a lot. It's kind of like their, well, one archetype. Oh, I can take you there. I will do that for you. Do you want to say healing? Like, always like, I want to do that for you. And then the other hand, sometimes it takes you, I don't know how to set boundaries. I could be the doorman of others. Normally, the cheap thing that I have seen that block the emotional body in the Orion system, it was because they were so empathic and they could feel every other timeline or aspect of them, that it was like it screams within. I don't know if you have ever seen an autistic child. I have my niece and she's so hypersensitive that the slight noise for us is like nothing, and for her it's like she screams inside, right? And it's like, don't do that, and we're like, we're not hearing anything, and she's like, all right, she's like screaming inside because she has other channels open. So it was kind of like how it felt. So people plead government to create something to adjust that sensitivity so they wouldn't have. Imagine if you could sense every personality of you at the same time, and then said like, I'm making love right now, but I'm dying, but my stomach hurts, but I'm happy. And then it's like, oh, like multiple personalities at the same time. So when the ship come, it was like calm, like when you are sad and then you drink and then you forgot about your problems or get drunk or smoke something or I don't know. It was like a patch, like a temporary patch. But then the imperialist people from government realized that they could control people without emotions. They will be like zombies, and it was actually how it is. And when the emotional body was blocked, everyone became kind of like sociopath because you wouldn't feel blame or guilt or anything. It was like you're annoying, I'm just gonna kill you now, right? And then you would lie, like, I don't care, like, whatever I need to do in order to do what I want. So it became a discontrol, and then a war happening to the universe, and then many other races got incorporated, like Arcturians and Pleiadians and Syrians and Dragos and Reptilians, and like it was going to be kind of like the end of the universe. And then a planet was exploded, and then it was destroyed, and everyone felt guilty and ashamed because it could have been avoided, kind of like Hiroshima Nagasaki thing. And when that happened, as it has been told to me, everyone kind of choose to gather its own pieces together and then go within. So it ended being with the highest good because it helped Pleiadians to ascend, it helped Syrians to ascend. Arcturians were already ascended, but it helped Valaran one to ascend, and then the ones from Vega, and then the ones from Venus, and then the Anunnaki, and then ultimately the Orions that represent kind of like the phoenix, the one who goes through the ashes and allow herself to die in order to go to heaven and then transform into the most glorious, beautiful light ever. So in the highest good aspect, souls that have Orion into their own Akashic records, they tend to be survivors, very strong, like very badass, like I can go through a lot and keep being positive and keep smiling and keep saying I will figure it out. And then a lot of resiliency, that it is conflict, suffering, just put the best of you out. It's like a raw diamond that transformed into a beautiful, expensive diamond into a jewelry in France, right? On top of a red velvet thing, in a crystal platform, like, so everyone can say like, oh, it's so beautiful. So this is kind of what Orion star seeds rewrite in humanity. In humanity timeline, they have that good and bad, sometimes very opposite things, like maybe I'm very perfectionist, and then I do a lot of things because I'm very insecure at the same time. So it's kind of like extremes that blend together. And many of the star seeds that are going through karmic, unlike control, freedom, empath, narcissistic, magic, dark, light, dualistic patterns, it's a way to rewrite those scenarios into a lighter scenography. Because what I have heard from my Pleiadian guys and my Orion guys, we haven't had the horrible extreme they went through before they ascend. We just had like, I don't know, like if your mom and dad are already billionaire, so you went to a good schools and stuff like that, and then your suffering is like minimized because you have like everything, because it's already built for you. I don't know how to say that, built and past in English, for you, because your ancestors already did it. I don't know if that makes sense. So according to Starseed Akashic records, Earth, it was the perfect place for many star races to rewrite what it felt like shouldn't do it that way, wrong, mistake, into a different scenario with a short life in a place that you could have many lives many times, and then go in through, I'm gonna be the narcissistic, I'm gonna be the empath, I'm gonna be the counselor, I'm gonna be the judge of them, etc. So we could learn those patterns that were perceived as distorted at the soul level. And karma, guys, what I have perceived the other days, my guy said, Greta, you don't have karma from other lifetime. And I was like, what do you mean? It's all my own doing? Right? I was like, no, higher self, I don't accept that belief. I want to think that karma, it's the fault of someone else's mistake. It's not actually like you have to rectify it. It's more like when you die, because you created, you feel the need to do it again. I don't know if you have that in your personality, but like when you want to do that and then you waited out for a long time, and then when you do it, it's like, like, I don't know, like maybe we could do that with food. I don't know. Like, for example, I wanted to do bread when I was a teenager, and the first time it was like pita bread. It never got like fluffy, and I was like, it tastes good, but it's not fluffy, so let's do it again. And then I was like, it's fluffy, but it don't taste good. And then I remember that I tried different times until it got in a way, in a form that the bread, it was sufficient for what I expected. So this is kind of why we have different aspects of us that are avatars of the same seed, going through different type of relationships. So you learn one thing in many different views to gather a lot of wisdom, and then to go back to the source, being happy with the legacy you build it, right? So normally, let's say if someone cut a lot of heads in the medieval times, because it was like, I don't know, the one who decapitated people, maybe it's gonna be a hairstylist in this one. Maybe someone that went through a lot of war is gonna be a doctor in this one. Maybe I did a lot of stupid things, so now I'm healing this one, right? So you kind of need to know the opposites of one stick before you go back to the source. And then sometimes you want to do it at the same time, and then we manifest it in your relationship, in your partner, in your mom, in your sons, in the neighbor, in your best friend. So you kind of learn from a different perspectives one thing, and then we send that information to the source through our feeling, to what we think, to what we believe, to what happened, and then in source they are gathering all that information in Antares, I think, is where the timeline grid, kind of like the Akashic records of this universe, is being observed, rewritten. They choose what is going to place into a type of crystals USB, and then it's going to the cave of Christus, and then we channel the information we told them before that we experience it, right? So we are extensions of our same higher self, Pleiadian Orion, that we go through the physical part of it. They're not better than us. This isn't worse than them. This is just different because we feel. But feeling isn't a bad thing, guys. Because when I have remembered for short periods of time, for example, when I was Arcturian, I remember that I lived for a long time. After my Orion timeline, I said, you know what, I'm done with this Warzone thing. Screw it, right? And then I was planning life next, and then my heart self said, go to Arcturus. They are ascended like all the time. I haven't found a timeline where Arcturians were not ascended, right? Not yet, at least. If someone knows, then type you guys and then correct it. They always have been ascended in my history. So I went to Arcturus, and then every soul that was in a traumatic event, let's say that you were killed in September 11th, or in World War II, or in Orion, or with reptilian or something, then you, or maybe you were the reptilian, or maybe you were a demon or something, and you want to reconnect with the purity of the source, you go to Orion, and then you are placed into a baby form for a while, that could be eternity, until you recognize with the light again, right? So I was one of those moms, I don't know the word in English, the one who nurses those babies. And I remember that I lived like, I don't know, like 7,000 years. And it was fun. It was fun for a while. I had all of those babies, and we were like in a spaceship with many, many other galactics. And it was fun, and I love it. But when I died, I remember that I said to my higher self, look, I don't want to go there again. Thank you so much. I enjoy it, but I had enough with one. Because I did not have free will by myself. Yes. I was in a group of, we were 44 Arcturians, and we were all united like in a polyamorous marriage, kind of like that. We're all one, so our personality was all one into those 44 Arcturians. We don't have names. We didn't need to sleep or eat or anything. We were just a presence. And then I had no individuality. I was us, because we were in 7th dimension. And I remember that when I died, I said, I love it. It was good. I learned a lot. It was fun. But it was too long. I was a challenge. I didn't learn a lot. I couldn't choose by myself. I had to do all the group wanted to do. So never mind. And then I remember that they said, then go to Earth. You can do whatever you want. You can be good, bad. You can have a lot of lives. And then I said, okay, Earth it is. Sign. So at the soul level, guys, you are here for the experience. When we are here, we said, that sucks. It's hard. I didn't like it. But all of those is hard, I didn't like it, our notes are sent to the source. Blah, 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 blah. And then maybe the source says, maybe we should add addiction in the next world, right? So it's a good. At the end, whatever bad thing happened to us here or on any plane, it ended being a good thing, because it may not be rewritten in any other place in the universe. We're not aware of that, and maybe we don't need to know. Like, for example, I was seeing a lot of things, because when I connect to Earth, guys, I am the meditation, right? I can boom, and then the energy took me, and then in 5 seconds, I'm gone. And then I don't understand everything, and sometimes I want to, but how I could. My mind don't have the capacity to have that cognitive process from a being of light or 7 or 9 dimensions. So I just have pieces, and from those pieces are like seeds of gold for me to do stuff, right? And at the end, it kind of doesn't matter what I do. It matters what I become because of what I did. Like when I was telling you about the upset emoji, that it was like a sword thing, that it lacerated me and then it lacerated back. It was a bad thing. I'm guilty of it. But it made me aware that I won't choose to do it again. Yes? Next time I got into a darkness, I'm going to bring higher self, I'm going to center myself, I'm going to ask the light to come, and then I'm going to ask herself, okay, what we should do here, right? So I'm not sending that darkness back that will come multiplied to me again, because I don't choose that thing, because lesson was learned. So sometimes the bad things are going to be a good thing, because it put us in a different place where we don't choose that thing anymore. And what I'm getting for you, Tamara, was that you were an alchemist, kind of like a magician, kind of like a Merlin thing, and I don't think you had a gender. It feels very natural, more like a magical elemental being with slightly more strong masculine energy within, like very knowledgeable about crafty things with energy, with illusionists, with potions, with things. And for you, it feels like it was like 50-50. Well, in fact, you had many timelines in Orion, but in the overall, what I'm getting it is that it was 50% very challenging, that the other 50% it was very gratificant, if that is the correct pronunciation, because of the broader perspective that you gain. That alchemist is kind of like the main one, the one that you enjoy the most in Orion, but you have many. Like from the imperialist government controller, like to doctor specialist in the ship thing, from the ones being shipped, like from rebels, from the warriors, yes, like from normal people. That's what I'm being shown. I hope that helps, and let me see if I can have any other question. Maybe I can bring some Orion like language. Hola. Hola Carla, thank you for being here. And Binera, thank you. Casey, Maria. And I do have any other question from Casey. I have, well, if we humans, she's asking, are ascended currently, how does this help other beings such as Pleiadians as Sunny in their development? This is a great question, and I think I already answered that. They are being helped because they observe us, who are kind of like their Netflix. They observe and they learn. They integrate those into mysteries of the universe, laws of universal magnetism, quantum physics, etc., etc. And we are their tests, so they evolve in a way that they don't intervene, in a way that they look for the pieces of them, that we're not pieces because each of us are whole, but the other personalities. And the way that my higher self explained to me a personality, a soul extension, he said, because I see him as a male normally and a female. He said, like, it's like when you wake up, Redo, and you open your closet and then you say, oh, I want to do a dress today. I want to go sporty. I want to have pajamas the whole day. It's kind of like how you feel you should go. So in the higher level, that could shift into a personality that fit them the most. From many, they have already integrated. We have one, but that one we have, it's being transformed constantly. And at the same time, they experience through us in a way that, how I can explain it, kind of like, for example, a Congress that they have to debate about a law procedure that they are doing, if it's going to be for the highest good or not, we should go to war or not, we should put a block on certain country or not. Like, those decisions that aren't easy to take, it's kind of how they do, but dependent on Pleiadian as a sunny timeline that they have. It will depend. Okay. I have many guides right now. They're kind of like greeting. Michael, thank you for being here. I'm working on your drawing, and hopefully you will love it. Okay, he's asking, is in the next 2 months going to be abundant with money? Okay, I'm asking for clarification. Okay, Michael, what I'm getting it is that abundance comes in many forms, and I'm gonna let your guys just speak through me so I don't intervene with that personality. Abundance is the definition of freedom. And as freedom, it is the equality of what the nature of the real persona in you is, in a way that every resource will give you the permission to be what you want to be at the moment that you want it, in the process that you want to allow yourself to be expressed. Money is just a type of exchange that humans have chosen to be the amount that will define an equality to the frequency being given and receiving into all you give and receive throughout your day. However, we would like to clarify that you exchange, give, and receive all day, not only through emojis on the social media. With every word that you speak, guess what you give when you say something? You are so stupid. When you say something like that, you are given and taken at the same time. And the other hand, if you say to someone, I always love to hang out with you because you always uplift the vibe, guess what you are given? You are giving that person that security and the confidence in its own self to multiply that more on behalf of both as a reflection. When you are grateful with the attitude of gratitude, as human said, for what you already have, that's being multiplied in a broader perspective by the ultimate monetary exchange we all have at all levels, from the most minimalistic atom in the quantum field through humanity and in the universe is love. As love is give and receive, is the only ingredient for creation and co-creation that will validate what you are into the synchronicity of the universe. So all you need is already in your space to live with the freedom to do what you want to and the moment that you want to, and to become what you are choosing to transform yourself in that present moment in time. Regardless of that money or that exchange that you will have, the resources, you all have them already with you. But when the asking it is from the place that I don't have what I think I need, that it is only affirming a separation from the source, where all that it is always has been and always will be abundant. And a metaphor that we could close the message for all of you that are gathered today, it is, imagine a wave in the ocean that says, oh, I'm here with millions of waves crashing against each other. It's frightening. If a wave said that, it said it from the lacking of what the ocean it is. But what about the wave that expressed itself by saying, I am a wave in an ocean with millions and millions of waves collide to each other, dancing in the wind and the sun that caress and come down to us, to shimmer its own reflection into our own waters. And in the same frequency, we give life to many beings of light that gather and rejoin to us into the presence of all that it is, to each and every molecule of what the ocean it is. And in that wholeness that I feel right now to be part of all that we are, I rejoice in my soul. Did you notice the difference from the asking? Always what is asked is being given instantly, because with father or mother were rejected goodness from its own son. But the way that humans ask, when you place yourself into the box, it only blocks the abundance from coming, because you separate from the source of wellness. And with that, we would like to give a transmission to download all what you need, so you feel not one wave separated from the ocean, but you feel the ocean itself, and you're able to be revealed into your own eyes that you already have what you are missing, that you already have the resources that you feel is lacking, that all you need is already within. And with that, you are all invited to see and think in the most exquisite, magnificent hue of blue, like the ocean. And as you gaze at it, breathe that blue in, and the more you breathe that blue in, the more resources as treasure boxes will open, not only with wellness, with many, many goodness to exchange, as miracles unfolding one to another in front of your eyes. Kepaketako sokotoro babata asate akiarakoro osaki ashka. Kite karababa sata koroba aki ashka ti zaba azu ni ate akorobasa. Breathe the blue in along with everything you desire, and as you imagine, you open your eyes into a screen in your mind, you will see that that thing you desire the most is already with you in a matching frequency, that it's already been in the process to be co-created in the way it serves the most and the highest good for all. Te abakata koraka asakori abaki ashka. Te esakorabata aki akiteki arika ashka. We are grateful for the opportunity to give a piece of our own wisdom, the one you are invited to take throughout your intuition. Blessings to all. Okay, that was not expected. Thank you. And I hope that helps. Casey, appreciate sometimes. Thank you so much for the stars. I hope they go back to you. Oh my God, my blue is so beautiful. I feel like I was inside of a blue and dark crystal. I don't know if you have seen those. It was like magical. Crea Elisa is asking in Spanish, so I will reply in Spanish for her. And she's asking about how to contact your darkness without being afraid. Elisa, es una muy buena pregunta. Desde la oscuridad, cuando traes luz, la luz desaparece y se hace muy poquito. Es como si estás en una noche muy muy oscura y prendes un encendedor y nada más puedes ver los que están alrededor de la luz. Pero cuando estás en tu luz, puedes traer la oscuridad y va a ser iluminada. Y en ese momento el balance entre el yin y el yang, la luz, la oscuridad, el amor, el vacío, el miedo y sentirse seguro, entra en una neutralidad donde se transforma en algo diferente. Como por ejemplo, el miedo no te paraliza, sino te ayuda a descubrir algo de ti que no sabías, como por ejemplo una fobia, algo que te dé miedo. A mí me da miedo el agua y siempre que voy a la playa me subo a la lancha, visito a los delfines y voy agarrada como araña del bote. And I'm gonna say this in English now a little bit. Pero la última vez que me subí iba con una persona que quiero mucho y la abracé y me abrazó y no me dio miedo, y fue la primera vez que voy en lancha que no voy así. Y me permití ir abrazada de mi amigo que quiero mucho. Iba, mira el agua, mira esto, va pasando lo otro. Entonces, atreverse a hacer algo, aunque te sientas que te paralizas de miedo, y cuando lo estás haciendo, darte cuenta que realmente no es algo tan malo, abre un regalo de ti, donde yo me di cuenta que podía disfrutar el agua sin estar con toda esa cantidad de tensión en mí y al mismo tiempo disfrutarlo. The question is how you can bring darkness when you are so afraid of it. And what I'm saying it is when you are in darkness, it's hard to bring light because every light you're trying to bring is going to be so little. Like if you're in a dark night and then you have a lighter and then you do it like that, and then that light is going to be so little in comparison with the whole darkness that surrounds you. But when you are in your light will normally blind you. Like, have you tried to gaze at the sun without glasses? I don't know how to say that in English, but glasses that we normally use. When we bring the glasses, I can drive and then sun is not annoying because it will allow me to see better because it will diminish so the light it isn't that bright that I cannot see anything. And in the other hand, when I am in my light, I can bring darkness to be observed, integrated, and acknowledged, and then that darkness or that fear will transform in something new that we will no longer reject or avoid or feel paralyzed. And I have said this before, but I was afraid to go into the ocean. I love it. And every time I go there, I go and visit the dolphins. And I always go scared, whole into the boat because, I don't know, something paralyzed within. I kind of have like anxiety attack. And I'm always like, my kids are like, Mom, there is a dolphin over there. And I'm like, okay, take a picture. I'm just trying to breathe, right? For that whole 2 hours that I go there. But this last time that I went to a retreat, I went to a friend that I love him so much. And then we went and then, let's go and see the dolphins. And I was like, oh, but I always get scared. Will you hug me if I get scared? He said, oh yes, I will hold you the whole time. So guess what? How your mindset is so important because I was being hugged. And he's tall and I'm skinny. I felt so good, like if a bear was all over with me. And I was like, aw. And I was not scared at all. We didn't see dolphins, and then the ocean was so upset that the waves were very huge. We couldn't reach the dolphins, and the dolphins were hidden because of the high waves. But because I was hugged, it felt safe and secure. And I was brave enough not to be paralyzed. And then when I was there, I realized that it was all right here. There was nothing to be afraid of. And then I enjoyed. So this is how you go through darkness. You don't go through darkness when you are in darkness because then it's going to be annoying. Like, I'm depressed right now. Let me go through all the things that make me sad. Like, no, because then you're going to find more reasons to be depressed. But maybe when depression it's gone and then you are relaxed, you can say, okay, now that I'm very centered, let me rewind why I get depressed. And then see if it's a valid pattern or is just a lie from our ego mind, right? I hope that makes sense. Alessia, thank you for being here. Hello, Greta. That is a message from my guides. Yes. Okay, this is quick. They're saying work with you, shine bright, love is away, and be the rainbow into your day. Okay, that was quick. Pineda is asking, I would love to have a message from my guides. Good day. Thank you for being here. Okay, I'm asking. Okay, you are connected to saints. I don't think it's something that you have explored, Bineda. Okay, who is the one we are connected? Can that be very clear? Okay, I'm getting St. Francis. Go through something or read something from him. You can Google it, and then whatever that comes first through Google, that's gonna be something that your guides want you to know. I hope that helps. Let me see if we have any other question. If I bypass, I do have PayPal, Tamara. I can put it on the comments, or you can go in through my website, inquiryfrequency.com, and PayPal address is going to be there, and you guys could PayPal me if you want it. I will appreciate it. But you can help me in many other ways. You could also like, comment, and share, and not only support this page, but everyone else's spiritual page or business, like language, or any other spirituality, love, attraction, or whatever that you resonate, because right now that the guidelines of social media change, that will be bypassed if we don't support each other. And remember, every other person that will advertise or anything, it is in my competition. It's another part of me that's trying to go out there. So there are many ways to support, like, and share if you buy it. There are many persons on social media, but if we don't support each other, then who? I know sometimes we don't agree with everyone, and that's fine, but in the best way you can. Maybe we could do a prayer for that person. An excellent way to manifest abundance is praying for abundance for everyone else's. There is a challenge that you do for any days you want to do it, and whatever you want to do for yourself, you ask for random people to have it. And people that have done that challenge, I have friends, they say that, oh my God, I was praying for all my friends to have twin flame because I want to manifest mine, and now they all have it and I haven't found mine. So it's kind of like a way to ask for your things through the reflections of the ones that are with you. Thank you so much for the stars. I hope they go back to you in a way that we don't have resistance. Because sometimes we are like, okay, I want to have the money, but then money isn't good with spirituality. We shouldn't have money. Or something that block whatever we're asking to have to be manifested. And okay. I'm gonna try to do, well, I wasn't expecting that, but I'm gonna try to do, if you guys want to, next Saturday I could do some abundance workshop transmission by donation. I'll post it, guys, just set it, and then you could donate, or you can share and like or support the page in whatever way, that's fine. And then maybe we could assist each other, like the one I did for the Lionsgate. Okay, so I'm gonna do it on Saturday, because that works best for me. Oh, I'm gonna post. And then if you want to channel some abundance type of transmission to manifest or calibrate whatever desires you have, because the Lionsgate just passed by, and this is a very high energy to recalibrate, reorganize. We're going to enter into Virgo season, and Virgo is all about do your homework and do your thing and recalibrate and declutter and be better than what you were doing. And this is, I would like this better thing. It's kind of like a boss manager personality thing. So that will help. Let me check what day will work out with whatever I'm doing, and then we can do that. And if we're gonna do it right here on the equinox that is going to come in September 23rd, if I'm not mistaken, I'm gonna do a live DNA activation to assist. So if you want to participate on the events that I'm gonna do, like free services, you guys just go and check the calendar to see what we have here. I have been asked for the healing circle. I couldn't do it anymore because the social media rules change. Not right now. So I'm gonna let you guys rest from the meditations, and let's wait for social media and the planets to change and see what other way together, meditate together we could do. Meanwhile, I'm working on a 24/7 live stream on YouTube. Yes, I will get your donations and stuff like that to purchase. I have to purchase another computer and then another microphone, and then I have to get like a sound specialist to do those things. So I don't know when that's gonna be unfold, and whenever I can. That was the idea that came after the healing circle couldn't be anymore on Facebook, and I want to do like a radio like language, and I'm gonna try YouTube to see if that work out, and then I will just go with the flow. It's the best thing to do in these times. Let me see if I have any other question. If I have missed, so the lives that I have been doing here, thank you, Tamara. I appreciate you guys' donations. I use them in the same thing, so we could doing live services and then purchasing the services, the ones that feel drawn to that assist too, because otherwise I will go ahead and look a job in an office like the one I had before. So I appreciate the ones that support me. You guys can support in many ways, like liking and share, and every other person that you like keep seeing content, right? It requires a lot of time to do a meditation and the process and the post and the thing, and there are many ways to assist those persons that are creating content. And one thing is liking and share, subscribe. So social media, what I have noticed in social media, it is that once it's like and it has a lot of support, the algorithm don't take it off the feed, right? Unless no one like it and share it. It's kind of like a blind spot for information that we all know could be controversial to be on the feed. So whatever you would like to see more, it's a way that we can support each other. And not only spiritual people, if you're going to purchase something, instead of going through a big store, maybe you can purchase the same milk or bread into a small store in your neighbor. So you support the economy of keep going. If you're gonna purchase something and then it feels like, oh, it's expensive, like maybe I don't wanna purchase that, then think that you are assisting the economy. If you want it, even if it's a little expensive, and then, but I'm supporting people to have a job and food in their table, so I'm gonna get for it. If you could donate through whatever organization or whatever people you feel guided, or purchasing gifts. All of those things help the economy to move, instead of us complaining, the economy is going bad, but what am I doing so we are all helping each other? Maybe I can donate, maybe I can say, hey, my niece is selling cheesecake and she's wanted to have a travel for her university, whoever wants to support that. There is always a way for us to support each other. And normally it's a simple way that do not cost us much, like being gentle, like being kind, like maybe not commenting something mean, maybe not putting an angry emoji on someone, or maybe just stepping aside of whatever people have. We don't know what it's that person going through. We don't know. And the first instinct is to judge, like, asshole. But we don't know if that person maybe is going through a divorce and we have no idea. Maybe that's why it's that asshole that day. Kindness, it opened more doors than in other way. But whatever way you feel guided, then go for it. If you would like to support a spiritual community, there are many ways to do it. If you know a healing technique and maybe you can say, hey, I am Reiki level 2, will anyone that would like to do Reiki, I can send Reiki along this on this Friday night. I don't know how to do Reiki, but I have cards. Who wants a card? That's a way to support. I don't know. There are endless possibilities for us to work together. And if we don't work together, it is when I feel like the wave in the ocean, that it was scared of every other wave. Remember that Pleiadian says that? Instead of feeling like, oh, we're all part of an amazing, exciting thing, that it is our ascension. But community, it requires being respectful, having tolerance, having willingness, giving the extra mile on what I don't know how to do, but I'm open to learn it, to be open to new mindsets and ideas about how to do things. And if that human part isn't rooted with the spiritual part, then we kind of bubble it like above everyone else, and then when we need to go down, it feels hard. It feels hard, and at the same time, guys, feels good, feels so good when you are not in your 5 minutes of a know-it-all and someone hold the space for you, like my friend that I was scared in the boat, and then he said, I will hug you, and I was like, oh, please hug me tight. and in some moments I was like, oh, Jesus, we're gonna fall. But it feels good because I'm human, and so he is, and so everyone else. So I'm not saying that we should do things to please others. This is not the thing. Because sometimes helping others is said, no, I'm not going to do that for you. It depends on how it arises. But if you have a word of kindness, if you have this space to listen what someone's going through without trying to fix it or control the situation, sometimes it's all what we need to keep growing together and knowing each other and then figuring it out. And maybe we don't figure it out, and maybe it doesn't matter. It matters what we are becoming. That's the real thing for when we wake up. Or I don't know you guys, but I don't wake up to be aware of what Pleiadians and stuff like that. I want to be happy. I want to be peaceful. I want to be me. I wanted to have the strength to be me, to tell people, yes, I see stuff. And now I'm not crazy. and I'm doing it thanks to my spirituality. But at the same time, it comes with the responsibility for practicing the namaste thing, not only in social media, but when people don't see me, that I'm still able to see my light here validate your light. Even though I don't agree with you, I can see where you're come from, and it's okay. I can keep being me, you can keep being you, and we can walk together. This is the real thing. It isn't about, I love it all. It's about having truthfulness and soulful living in whatever way you can. And if you don't know, then you will know when it's time, and that's fine too. Okay, so I think it's gonna be good for now, because I talk a lot. I appreciate every one of you for being here. I will let you know whenever the radio live stream is available, so you guys subscribe and support if you guys like it. Thank you so much for being here. I'm gonna see if I can do a transmission next Saturday, or I leave it for September, depending on where I am. But if I cannot do the channeling, then we can go and have free service like today. Whoever can come, that's fine, because I'm asking for whom's meant to be. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the exchange. Have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful rest of the day. Bye-bye.